thrive. There's a lot to worry about in life. Arts gives us one less thing to worry about in life. Enhanced Wi-Fi security for everyone in your home.
We know there have been many hurdles in the past year, but we're excited that things are now back on track.
We wish our local San Diego athletes the very best. Start. Finish.
Closed captioning and freedom of description is brought to you by Total. Start your impossible.
Third place after the opening rotation. Your names in there for the gold medal time increase. Adelina Melnikova.
And she doesn't just do a similar routine to Eurozova. She does the exact same routine, all the same skills in the same exact order. Crazy. It's a very, like I said earlier, efficient routine. Let's see if she can go more vertical here, a little bit higher than her teammate. And those
Definitely the leader of that team experience. As we look at a moment deep.
There's that again, same exact dismount that we've seen from multiple athletes. We'll just identify was that she doesn't hold her knees enough on that landing. That's what really helps balance out the landings.
So, the difficulty, execution total, 14-9 in green for Melnikova.
a very big score. Great bars.
Coming up next, it's Suni Lee. Important part of tonight for her. For more on Suni and how she got here, her path. Here's Andrea Joyce.
Terry, the past few years, the road to Tokyo has been very difficult and emotional for Suni Lee and her family. Her dad, John, who has been a constant by her side throughout her entire career, had a bad accident just a couple of days before the 2019 U.S. Nationals. John was paralyzed from the waist down after falling from a ladder when he was in the backyard of a friend's house helping him out. Now, the Lees are part of a close-knit Hmong community, an ethnic minority with roots in Southeast Asia. More than 66,000 Hmong live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Many of them came together to help the Lees make their home handicap accessible and with fundraising to help with Suni's expenses. So tonight is a celebration for that community. John told me that they had to move the watch party to a much bigger location, an event space, because so many people wanted to celebrate this night. And while John always tells Suni to have fun and compete for herself, it is clear her Olympic experience extends
Thanks for the follow.
beyond this arena. We'll be back with Suni Lee on the uneven bars when we return.
Fuck you, snowflake.
Like the Suicide Squad, August 6th, rated R. Start your impossible. Backed by Nike. Playing
This summer, I just want to relax. Okay, relax and maybe run. But mostly relax and run and get back into swimming. So relax, run, swim, and I want to dance more. Relax, run, swim, dance, and hike to the top of a giant mountain. Okay, relax, run, swim, boogie, hike, and get my black belt and type black belt. Wait, are you still relaxing?
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Chicken Club is when I take a bite, I get the cheese and chicken at the same time, and I get all of the flavor from the Applewood smoked bacon that is cooked to perfection. And that's all in one bite.
Mrs. Law? Yes. We found a baby girl for your adoption, but there's some things you need to know. She's in Siberia, and she was born with a rare condition. Her legs will need to be amputated. I know this is difficult to hear. Her life, it won't be easy.
It might not be easy, but it'll be amazing. I can't wait to meet her.
Toyota, starting your impossible.
Want to sell the best burger in every zip code? Add an employee. Or 10. Then easily and automatically pay your team and file payroll taxes. That means world domination.
Shut the fuck up, Snowflake.
Run payroll in less than 5
Blow me, Snowflake.
I hope so. According to McGillis, director James Gunn. He's in a big position at the suicide squad. That's kind of a thing. It's all really complicated. I'll get TMI, man. Like we've seen before. Sometimes we do something. Suicide squad. Now, you don't need to go maximum.
Before break, you just heard the emotional talent story of Suni Lee. If you want to see the steps to making the Olympic team, terrific all-access book, Golden, The Journey of USA's Elite Gymnast, a 6-episode docu-series featuring Suni and 4 other up-and-comers. Available now on Peacock.
Blow me, Snowflake.
We head back. Terry King.
Now at the moment, maybe for Suni Lee, because she entered this rotation about 0.7 of a point behind Rebecca Andrade. And her routine now, you look at the difficulty, it's 0.5 more difficult than Rebecca's. So this is the time to go.
Yeah, and she can absolutely make that up, both in the difficulty and the execution.
She has done 2 different versions of her routine. Day 1, qualifying, she did a 6.6 difficulty routine. In the team final, stratospheric 6.8, the highest of anyone in the Olympic Games on this event. Scored 15.4. And if she's able to pull that off, it is just release
Good.
after release after release.
Are you reading my Twitter?
Entire performance in the all-around rest on this routine.
It's okay, man.
On this event will define her here tonight.
Good San Diego guys, man. Some of these guys are just. See, they're all getting mad because Big Sills may have had. I told you they were. I talked to Peter Seidler. That's how I knew. Peter Seidler's a good man. You just never know. I think the Dodgers, they need to get Scherzer. They need to get him, man, because if the Padres get him, it's over. I'm going to delete that. I don't care. I'm going to delete that. I'm not going to let anybody fucking. I don't care.
That height that she got on that first skill, and what makes her so incredible on this event.
Why is that, bro?
Every single skill is connected back to back to back. If you are a little bit off on one skill, it goes right into the next skill, the next.
Oh, I know, man.
To be so technically precise with this landing.
Precision. Standing over Jordan Giles and the ovation from her teammates.
It's Dodgers, and clearly, unless somebody parachutes in. Damn, Rizzo, man. I can't believe the Cubs dealt him. You know what, too, Trev? I can't believe the Cubs didn't do more. I see, and that kills me. I can't believe the Cubs didn't do more. Like, with all those players. They really just didn't. I thought they were going to do, I thought they'd win multiple championships. I thought that thing was on its way to being like a, with when you had Joe Madden there, man, they win that series. You talk about falling apart. They fell apart. They kind of fell apart. They kind of fell apart the same way that, like the Eagles did. I was going to respond, Trev, but I learned a thing. I learned not going to respond on Twitter. The San Diego crybabies. Hey, you know what? They're mad because I actually said the Padres were in the conversation for Scherzer, so now they're upset. What a bunch of nobodies. I mean, it's like 14-year-olds. My aunt hates them. Oh, I know, man. Watch this. Padre fan? Bro, actually, if you think about it, it's been the worst franchise. They are awesome this year, though, to watch. I won't lie. I love watching that team this year. They're fun to watch. But it's the worst franchise since 1969. Has there been a worse franchise in baseball? Think of it. Let me think. The Mets have won. The Marlins have won. Hell, even the Diamondbacks have won. The Rays have won. Give me another. The Mariners? Maybe the Mariners. Because the Mariners have never been to the World Series either. Maybe the Mariners, right? I think didn't the Mariners, didn't the Mariners and the Padres come in at the same time? I thought they both came in like at the same time. Padre fan. I don't even know what that is. Padre fan. Oh, they came in 77? Oh, I didn't know that. 69, yeah. Hold on here. This is always tricky. Bang. You're a toolbox. You're a toolbox, dude. Nothing, Chris. Okay, Christopher. Oh, I hate that. I figured you did. Oh, wow. Whew. All dead guys. So I've been invited to the Buccaneers alumni thing. No, forget. No. It's over with. Forget it. I'm not sharing anything with you. I'm not sharing anything with you. No, it's over. No. Beg me. Beg me. Beg me. beg me. Beg me. Beg me to. No, me and Tom Brady are going to hang out. No, me and Brady are alumni. You understand that? Know this. My affiliation, you deserve that. I hope your finger's broken. I don't care. I hope it is. I hope it hurts the other hand. I've already told you about this. No, I don't care. I hope you break your fucking fingers. No doubt, man. And they do it right, man. They really hook you up too, the Buccaneers. I went to an alumni thing. I took my family. You know, my family, man, they're like this. My dad played football. Great. I mean, I took her to I was on the field and everything. You know, my daughter's like this. What are you doing on the field? I played for the Bucs for a couple years. No, because it is what stadium would you want to step on the field? No. You'd want to go on Michigan Field before an Ohio State game. Do you know what I would want to open up to? Do you know what? If I wanted to walk onto a field, I'd want to walk into the opening ceremonies of the Olympics just to see what that's like. Because I've done all those other things. I'll tell you this though. Walking into a college stadium versus a pro stadium, it's completely a different vibe. It's louder, it seems. It's just louder. Oh, yes. Me too. I played at the Horseshoe. And get this, I played a professional football game at the Horseshoe. I played against the Ohio Glory in the World League. And guess who the coach was? It was Larry Little, the Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Dolphins. And he was the head coach, and I'm friends with Larry to this day. I love Larry Little. What was it? It was. Hey, and get this. I had Brad Nessler on that football show the other day. Yeah, Kim Camper. That's awesome. 16 minutes? Hey, get this. So I had Brad Nessler on. He goes, Sileo, don't you remember I called all your games when you were in the World League? And I had, guess who my sidekick was? I go, who? He goes, Boomer Esiason. I forgot about that. No, I will never go to a Miami Hurricane football game as long as I live. No, I mean Hurricane. Because you took my team out of the Orange Bowl and you stuck it in the Hard Rock, and I'm not doing that. Oh, okay, Dolphins. Yeah. Do you want to hear something crazy? The Orange Bowl has held more Super Bowls. Yeah. Oh, God, that was awesome playing at Soldier Field. Field sucked, but because it was AstroTurf, but it was awesome. Yeah, I was in the turf era. It was terrible, man. Oh, dude, that in Veterans Stadium was terrible. Ugh. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio. We are in the heart of the sports world now. We really are here. Olympic Games going on, and, football. We have the NBA draft. We have baseball trades. Funny, I threw out something a couple days ago when it came to Padres and Matt Scherzer. Earlier in the day, the Padres were like ahead in the race. Now, as of the top of the hour here, the Dodgers seemingly are now at the top of the heap here for the Washington Nationals ace. Man, you imagine adding that to the mix there for the Dodgers, you adding Max Scherzer. Holy cow. Would that be a gigantic addition for that baseball team? Would they seemingly be the favorite to repeat as World Series champions? Here we are talking again. Baseball, thank you. Finally, you're making some headways with me. You see, I'm one of these guys nowadays. I've learned a massive lesson. In all of my years of broadcasting, I'm not going to tell you what I want to know, what you want to know, what, kind of sparks my interest. I'm going to talk about the things that you want to talk about. That's how you deliver to the masses. So many times that you tune on a radio show. I was listening to a radio show today, and somebody was talking to me about the NBA draft. Can you name 2 players in the NBA draft? 2. And I'm talking to the average sports fan. 2. If you can't name me 2 players, why would I sit around and talk for an hour about the NBA draft? There's not one significant player that's in this draft that is going to make an impact like Zion Williamson did when he went to the Pelicans. Nobody. I'm not going to sit around and talk about St. John's basketball or people you don't give a rat's ass about. We talk about things that are in the news. Last night, we were talking about Simone Biles. We were talking about the team showing up to training camp. This Aaron Rodgers story is big. College football is enormous right now with what's going on with realignment. I'm going to get into all that here. I do want to start it out with this, though. What I like to do, and in case you haven't tuned into our show and you don't know, Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, have been doing this for about 4 decades now. So I just want you to know, about 30 years we've been doing radio. I heard Cole Beasley make a comment today about vaccinations, and I want to not bore you to death with this, but I want to throw this out to you. He's a wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. And as you know, our federal government still doesn't have their crap together here with this. 2 months ago, the President of the United States, Vice President of the United States, and Dr. Anthony Fauci told us that if we were vaccinated, we would not have to wear masks indoors or outside. Were we not told that? CDC had it right on the front of their website. I read it. Hey, I get my same information that you get by going to, I follow the science, unlike many of you out there who follow the politics. I follow the science. Okay? I follow the science. Where do you follow the science? You go over to the CDC website. By the way, I'm starting to believe that the TMZ website is more credible than the CDC's website. I mean it. Or how about this, The Onion? Because I can't tell how many times that they changed their directives on how many times do you think the CDC has changed the way that we're supposed to go about our daily lives with mask, no mask, vaccinations? How many times in the last 18 months do you think they've changed it? Am I fair when I say 15? Would that be a number? 20? Hell, Dr. Fauci said a couple years ago we didn't even need the mask. Now we're needing, what was it? Double mask, right? Okay, well, I'm going somewhere with this. It's not just a rip on this. So Cole Beasley, this wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, was asked about vaccinations, and he's anti these vaccinations. And what we're learning now is the government's telling us that this fall, you need to wear a mask even if you're vaccinated. My point to you would be, then why the hell did I get vaccinated? Where are you coming up with this science? Oh, the variant. Oh, okay. Can you prove that to me? You could barely prove to me and to the American public, okay, why we needed them in the first place. What I'm doing here is, and by the way, I was talking to you about algorithms. I don't want anybody to get upset because you know what happens with people, especially in social media and like YouTube and all that stuff. And by the way, I appreciate everybody coming aboard my YouTube channel and also my Twitch channel. Play Action Real, thank you. Penguin AZ, Trevor, everybody's online. We appreciate everyone listening to us. USA Radio, thank you. I want to underscore it. I'm not anti-vaccination in anything. But Cole Beasley's right. They asked him today again at training camp, are you going to get vaccinated? He goes, no, I want more information before I get vaccinated. What's wrong with that? You know what's wrong with it? They can't give it to you. They can't give it to you because it's an unknown. How many times are you going to get punched in the face before you realize what people are telling you changes every 2 months? For the record, I'm not anti-Anthony Fauci or the White House or anything. Do you know what I want? I want to fix this thing. I want a cure. But I also want the truth. I think Cole Beasley's right. How can you make me take a shot that doesn't really matter to me when you're telling me that I still have to wear the mask? What's the point? What's the point? By the way, do you know these cases and these numbers that are going up? Do you know that the death toll is still not going up? It's actually still going down. By the way, I'm reading off of websites that are online, and I'm assuming that they're true because Google and Twitter and Facebook would yank them down, wouldn't they? They yank all the rest of them down that are misinformation. So I'm reading off the ones that are being left up. They've said it. These social media platforms are not going to put misinformation up, right? Well, I'm just reading the same information that Google's allowing. Imagine that. I can't find my own sources. I have to take Google's word for it. I have to take a search engine's word on my health. I don't know. Doesn't that seem kind of weird? Why can't I take a doctor's word? No. If a doctor comes out and he's anti-anything, he gets edited, or there is a disclaimer put next to it, or they basically just pull it from the social media platforms. Now, look, if I'm sounding anti, I'm not. I just want to make sure of that. But I think Cole Beasley is one of the smarter guys here. You're telling me something different every 2 months. Every 2 months, I'm getting something different. When is it going to get to a point in this country where people can just say this from the government? Please, guys. It's okay to tell Americans you don't know what you're doing. I think we all would respect it and appreciate it more if people came out and went like this. Look, you know those shots? It can't hurt. It can't hurt to take a vaccination for this. Do we agree? Okay, that sounds cool. Hey, I'd be more apt to run down and get it. But you may need another 3. Okay. Give me the plan. You know what this reminds me of? Like going into a football game and I don't really have a full game plan to play against my opponent. You're winging it. Doesn't this come off like they're winging it? Am I wrong? You're winging it. Well, we were told that the vaccination. I pulled up 3 sound bites from Joe Biden the other day that told me that you did your American duty by getting vaccinated. Thank you so much. Now we're saying we have to wear masks inside again, and you have to get vaccinated, and maybe there's another shot coming. Dude, Americans, get this, and I'll tell you something here. This is now not going down one party line. Do you know what's also happening here? People are starting to do this now. Republicans and Democrats. Do you know CDC and Dr. Fauci is actually doing for us right now? I hope he keeps doing what he's doing. Because you know why? How many times have you tuned on the television set over the last week and you've seen Republicans and Democrats fighting the government? It's not just where you can circle Trumpsters. I see Democrats now in California bitching at what's going on with these mask mandates. They're recalling a governor, or trying to, because of his ineptness. You're seeing everybody, am I right? Now starting to go like this. I'm sick of this. CNN even is starting to air stuff like that because everyone is beginning to do this. They're fighting back now. So when Cole Beasley, the receiver of the Bills, says this, I just want more information. What's wrong with that? He gets criticized, but now guess what's happened? All of a sudden now, you got Americans doing this. I'm not against them, but I do like more information. Minorities are the least vaccinated group in this country. And I've said this to you the last couple of days. Traditionally, Democrats. Those are some of the people that are fighting these mandates now. Imagine this. You're an inner city family, mother and father. You think you can afford to sit at home any longer? You can't afford to sit at home. You got to put a roof over their kids' heads. Child care, all that stuff. People are now fighting back. I'm seeing fistfights in California and New York now. So when Cole Beasley says this, I'm telling you, you keep this stuff up, this may actually unite our country. It may unite us. Chris O sent me a story. It looks like, get this, SEC's not done yet, realigning. This is crazy. We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Wow, are you a glutton for punishment? There's no grass. Well, here, let me give you a little insight on the Cleveland Municipal Stadium. I went in there once and played a game, and I was like, wow, that's really weird-looking grass. The guy looked over at me and goes, it ain't grass, dude. It's green dirt. They spray paint the dirt green. I went, what? Sure enough, I went over and looked at the dirt, and I'm like, it is dirt. It's not grass. They spray painted it so the television would think there's dirt on it. It's grass. Yep. Boy, is it cold on that lake too. Dude, it just blows off that lake. Yeah, years ago. Think about that. Bears never really had their own building. Yeah, the Bears never. I mean, the Bears played at Soldier, and then they played at Wrigley in the '60s. And then they went back to Soldier Field, but that Soldier Field was not designed for the Bears. That Soldier Field was designed actually for, I think, for the Pan Am games or I think it was like a World Fair that was there. Is that right? Wasn't there like a World's Fair in Chicago back in the day? Yeah, and you know what used to happen there? Because one section of Wrigley, because I saw Northwestern and Illinois play a game there. They put the same dimensions, and you know what happened? They would run into the outfield ivy. No, they actually played in Chicago Stadium once, yeah, and it was 80 yards, but that was inside. But that was NFL football inside like that. Something like that. It was something like that. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Trevor just reminded me on my Twitch channel that the NBA draft tonight's got to be the worst draft in history of the league. I can't name you a guy. I don't know who they are. There's a guy actually that's going to be drafted in the first round that played in that G League. I mean, honestly, NBA free agency is way to go nowadays. I'm not, unless you have a Zion Williamson, there's somebody special in the NBA draft coming out of college. There's nobody really. I mean, where do you see like a budding superstar? Now they're going to come. There's no question. We'll see another kid that'll be like a Zion come out of college, but right now there's not. There's just not. So I mean, not really worth the time to sit around and even talk about it. You know, it's funny. I like I said earlier, I was listening to a guy talk about the NBA draft for like 35 minutes, and I'm like, you couldn't name me. You couldn't name me two dudes in that draft tonight. Couldn't name me two dudes. Okay? I'm not going to sit around and talk about crap that no one cares about. Football season's here. Olympics are going on. There's some great storylines in this thing. Sun Lee ends up winning the all-around. Congratulations to her. Biles gave her an opportunity, opened the door. She took advantage of it. She's now the gold medal all-around champion, making the 7th time that America has done that, and it's been in consecutive Olympics. That is amazing. In a sport that Russia, East Germany, China used to dominate. And get this is also on the heels of that low-life scumbag Larry Nassar. What a gosh darn great story that is. These women winning these gold medals and silver medals. By the way, I know people probably think that I came down on Simone Biles. Hey, those women that win those silver medals had to go through the hardship of being around that scumbag Larry Nassar. That's a victory in itself. That's a victory in itself. There's two different storylines and two different tracks that you can talk about here. That's a good thing. You don't always have to make it race or sexist or any. It's a good thing. Make these positive stories, not negative. Well, if you're ripping her, it's sexist. That's not what. Why do you go there? There's no reason to go there. Make it inspiring stories. Sun Lee takes the baton, wins the all-around. Congratulations. Way to go, man. Way to go. Biles opened the door for her. Isn't that sports, though? A door opens. Someone steps up. That's what you need. That's inspiring. Okay? That's inspiring. God, I get an opportunity. I get a chance to start. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Beautiful, man. She wins the all-around because a door opened for her. It's like Wally Pipp. Guy like, hey, manager, I'm going to take the day off. And then Lou Gehrig steps in. And he doesn't step out of that position for 17 years. All right. I mean, that's what happened, man. I think it's a great story. All right. Hey, check out my friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Earbuds, phone, microphones. If you're looking to build a home studio, this is your one-stop place here. 25% off everything. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Shipping is free, $5,000 to $5. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. The rating of college football continues. I'll explain next. What was that? Karras played in that place? You know, the Vikings used to play at Municipal Stadium where the Twins played. I didn't mind the Silverdome. No, I didn't mind it. Actually the turf was pretty damn good. See, I didn't care about the stands or anything. I care about the turf. Well, it was, dude. It was. He did it against the Rams. Yeah, it was just a freak accident, man. I know. What? Catch you, brother. Yeah. I got to promote the guest too. Oh man, legendary! It's like the Sistine Chapel. You should see when I'm in there, and I'm in a grass skirt, and I'm beating the piss out of Godzilla. Blood everywhere. You think you're in the Roman Coliseum? Tape delay. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Looks like the Dodgers are trying to give up every single major prospect they have to acquire Max Scherzer. Padres, they put the players out there earlier in the day, and it looked like they were going to get them, and now all of a sudden the Dodgers know that if the Padres end up getting Max Scherzer, the Washington Nationals ace, that's going to move that rivalry even closer. So we'll see what happens. I've been saying all along, Padres are in it, but I've always thought that the Dodgers, because of the assets and because of Andrew Friedman. I know Andrew when he ran the Rays, and he's not going to be outdone. He'll move another prospect if he has to. I mean, look, who cares about 5 years from now? You know, and these organizations that talk to you like that as fans don't care about 5 years from now, 5 minutes from now. They care about today, right this second. Because you know why? The economic dollar that you're asking me to invest in season tickets for baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever, they're so expensive. And for me to sit around and have disposable income that I can just go and get season tickets, you can't do this to a fan base anymore. Hey, guess what? In 4 years, we're going to have a winner. But if you invest and you give us the money now, we'll build it. No, what you used to have to do was you build it and they will come. But somehow in the process, you know what ended up happening? These organizations got greedy and said, well, if you pay us, we'll build it. And then some of these organizations lie to you and never build it. Can't do that nowadays. Fans have too many ways on getting the content of their favorite teams. I can go on the internet now, watch my favorite team for free. Why the hell do I have to pay for season tickets? I'm not going to spend $20,000 in season tickets. For what? Why do I want to go to a game? Why would I want to go to a game when I can sit at my home, drink my own beer, eat my own hot dogs, and not have to spend a king's ransom in parking? Tell me why I should do that. Okay, especially in an economic time like this. Why should I do that? What in the hell makes me motivated to open my wallet for you when I got a kid's education to pay for? Why? You think I'm going to put $20,000 on a Cubs season ticket package versus my daughter going to college? Come on, guy. What makes me want to go and do that? Well, shut up, dude. I don't care about that anymore. I love you. I root for you. I'm not going to pay for it, though. You need to give that to me for free. Or how about this? You need to make it so it's fashionable and it's worth, I'm getting something out of it. Hey, hey, just saying, well, I support the Cubs and I have season tickets. What? Okay, great. What do you get for it? Well, satisfaction? That ain't enough nowadays. That ain't enough. All right. Hey, Kim Bokamper's going to join us. Former All-Pro with the Miami Dolphins. He's part of the broadcast team. Is Tua really going to be the guy? Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Is he really going to be the guy? Is he the guy that you saw a year ago and you went, I don't know. When I saw Tagovailoa playing, I said this, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still saying that. So we'll talk to Kim Bocamper. That'll be in hour number 2. All right. So the absolute rating of these conferences now is going to continue. And I learned some stuff today. And it looks like, I can't wait to tell you this when it comes to ESPN. I've got to write this down because I'll forget it because it's important here. So, Clemson and Florida State now want the Southeastern Conference to come calling. Why do you think that is? It's now being reported. Do you know what the selling point was for Oklahoma and Texas? By the way, they officially, as of today, asked for admittance into the Southeastern Conference. Do you know what the paycheck will be? It's being reported between $75 and $80 million in television alone per institution. You heard me right. Tax deductible $80 million per school, 12 schools, if you add these two. As of now, $80 million, not counting local revenue, not counting attendance, not counting your own television local network, not counting bowl games, not counting all the teams that are in the conference going to bowl games. It's $150 million a year entity to your team. These teams in the Southeastern Conference will make $150 million. Do you know what the NFL teams make in their TV? As of now, they make $300 million. You're talking about gargantuan money now. I also want to tell you a story here on what's happened. You know, I mentioned this last night. I'll talk a little more about this Reggie Bush stuff too. Do you know what the story is, behind the scenes, and how this whole thing started? Little birdie told me that ESPN, once they got the Southeastern Conference broadcasting rights, you know, they're not owned by CBS anymore. The broadcasting rights that ESPN has is now the ACC, the Southeastern Conference. Those are their two big money grabs. Fox has the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. The Big 12 was kind of a hodgepodge with ESPN and some with Fox. Listen to this. ESPN and the Southeastern Conference cut this gargantuan deal. The Big 12 went to them, ESPN, and you know what they said? They had a couple more years remaining on their deal. ESPN went, no, we're good. When that happened, it's being reported that ESPN told Texas and OU, you might want to join the SEC. And guess what? There is a $70 million exit fee. Well, if the conference is not around anymore, who are you paying? If the conference is not around any longer, you don't have to pay that exit fee. If that conference it's going to be dismantled too. Because you know what's going to happen. Either the Big Ten or the Pac-12 is going to come in and take TCU out of Dallas. You're going to get the Dallas market. You're going to maybe get Baylor. And you're going to let Iowa State may go to the Big Ten because you know why? Watch, Iowa State and Iowa. That's a better rivalry than Nebraska, Iowa. Come on, man. Iowa State, Iowa is a damn good rivalry. It's been going on over 100 years. Makes more TV sense. Can you imagine that a network was responsible for destroying a conference? ESPN and their powerful ways destroyed the Big 12 by taking two of its biggest assets that they had out of the conference, which destroyed it. Don't you think that's a conflict of interest? And here's something else. Where's the NCAA in this? What's your job in this? So your big thing today was to tell Reggie Bush that he can't have his Heisman back because you won't acknowledge his statistics at USC. That's your big go-to today? When a television network and another conference rated the Big 12 and you couldn't do anything about it, nor did you say anything about it, your big go-to was keeping Reggie Bush from having his Heisman back. You're so irrelevant. You're so irrelevant. What is your worth? What if you've been doing all these years? You've been stealing money from these colleges. You know what this guy reminds me of? And I'm saying the NCAA. They remind me of a loan shark. They are a loan shark. They're taking the VIG. They just sat around and stole money from colleges all these years. Because what are you doing? You never got in the way of protecting the Big 12 is reaching out for help. Who are they going to go to? The NCAA is not going to help them. You think they're not going to side with the biggest power conference on the planet now, the Southeastern Conference? Are you crazy? You're not going to go against the SEC is the most powerful sports league next to the NFL in this country. $150 million. And get this, the kids are just starting to get, you had to pay the kids, didn't you? As of July 1, you had to pay the kids. Once that, know this, in July, once that became official, it was on. They were going to rip these conferences, or they were going to rip a conference apart. Know this also, the Big 12 was a power conference. What about these other conferences like Conference USA, Mountain West, Sun Belt? You are totally irrelevant. You have no place at the table. When a kid goes to those colleges, he goes undefeated. Hoss, you have no shot at playing for a national title or a decent bowl game. It's over. Why are you even having football? This is going to make the rich richer, because what's going to happen is, say you're a school like Memphis, okay? Really good basketball program and a really decent football program. Why would I keep football going? What's the point of football? You're not going to be invited to the Big Ten. You're not going to be invited to the Southeastern Conference. You're just going to be there in Conference USA where nobody cares. Oh, no, you know what you're going to be? You're going to be schedule fillers for the big conferences like Big Ten and SEC and Pac-12. So you're like, you know when the Globetrotters play like the Generals? That's who you are. You're the Generals. What a crappy experience. Here, get this. Schools like the Citadel and Tennessee Chattanooga, Alabama's going to pay you $2 million to come to their place so they can beat you 77-0. What a great college experience that is. And you know what they tell you and they sell you? Well, you got a chance to go to Alabama and play against Bama in their stadium and get the tar kicked out of you. Well, hell, that's great. That's great. Congratulations. What a wonderful experience. Really? How do you look yourselves in the face when you were not paying these kids all these years? And you still try to hide behind the guise of amateur sports. Amateur sports. Look at what's happening in front of you. You can't say that with a straight face, can you? Kids they shouldn't be paid. You couldn't. An idiot knows to duck when someone's throwing punches. Okay? This is so asinine. And now Clemson and Florida State are in the process potentially of starting talks to go to the SEC. Why not? If I'm going to make $150 million versus the ACC, think about the ACC for a minute. Okay? I left the ACC years ago and played at Miami because we played independent. Here, you're going to play against NC State, Duke, Wake Forest. Those aren't football programs. Those are basketball programs. There's not a school in the SEC. What's here? Georgia, LSU, A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Mississippi, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky. Those are football powers. Come on, man. NC State and Duke. That's a really good basketball conference. Not much on football. It's a roadkill conference. All right. Hey, check out my friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones and mics, they got it for you there. Gamers, microphones, like I said, even if you're looking to build your home studio, 25% off everything. Do me a favor and use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. $5 to $5,000. Hey, man, got to get there. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. All right. Did Aaron Rodgers get everything off his chest? I sure hope so. I'll explain next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Yeah, the Kong Dome's a great place. Has he? It's all right. It's all right. You know, I need a new pair of boots and a belt, so that's on the agenda. Oh, good. Send it to Eric Kong, please. Ah. Okay. I like it. I don't care. No, he'll be murdered as soon as he steps on the property. No. If he does, trust me. No, little Godzilla's in trouble. His head will be on a spit. Yeah, I hold a grudge. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Like an elephant, I don't forget anything. There's good and bad with big sills. Okay? Told you, my passion's my greatest asset, and my passion's my worst asset. So, cross the line, not going to work. It's just not going to work. I'll hold it against you forever. I don't care if you breathe fire. I will hold it against you. Anyway, speaking of breathing fire, so thank God now we're now into training camp with this Aaron Rodgers thing. Okay, can I tell you how I think real players that are on that Packer team are doing tonight and what they're thinking? Jesus, criminy, man. I hope this guy has enough tissue paper to wipe his eyes, because this crying has gone on for about 6 months, and I'm sick of it. Can we please go to work? I hope this guy's got everything off his chest. He was in front of the media yesterday for 30 minutes. And if I were a player on that team, I'd be like, good grief, man. Do me a favor. Stop your whining and your crying. There's an upcoming football season. My incentives are wrapped around this guy's mental health and being in a right place. This guy was playing the ukulele in Hawaii all of 6 months, bitching and moaning about the organization. You know, when you're in a team, you know, you could do that when you're a golfer or a boxer or what have you. Maybe even a swimmer. I don't know. But when you're in a team sport like that, man, you almost have to be a babysitter. Doesn't it seem like when Tom Brady's around his team, it's all about the dudes in the room and not about him? You know what's funny? Now that I think about it, all the great presidents and all the great people in Washington, let me tell you something about Clinton. You may not like Bill, but I'll tell you what Bill did. Every time Bill was in the room, he made everyone in the room feel important. When Obama was in, he did the same thing. That's a technique. That's a technique on communicating. The biggest, weirdest thing that Trump did all the time was he had to be the biggest guy in the room. And that's what killed him when it came to his political career in the end. Is because he wanted to be the biggest guy in the room. When you're somebody like the President of the United States, or you're a general, or you're a quarterback, or you're a team leader, you got to make everyone in the room. You know what Jimmy Johnson said the biggest secret is, and the secret sauce to motivating men? You know what it is? Everybody down to the water boy wants to be stroked. Everybody wants to have a hand put on their head or told that you're important. If you do that, you're motivating. If you can motivate the bottom end of your roster, or everybody that maybe doesn't matter, like an elevator operator, like I saw President, when I saw presidents doing this, being around them, I saw Ronald Reagan do that. God, I told you the story before. We're at the White House, and President Reagan's talking to the elevator operator. I look over at the guy and I go, this guy knows the elevator operator? Jesus, criminy. It told me a lot about him, though. If Ronald Reagan could have a conversation with the elevator operator, I know that he could have a conversation with Gorbachev. And I knew he was going to get what he needed, because that guy he made everybody in the room feel great. You think we got anybody around us right now that does that? Yeah. These great coaches. Okay? I don't see any great coaches in Washington. The greatest leaders are the dudes that make everybody in them, around them, go like this. Wow, man, this is special here. This is. Aaron Rodgers doesn't make you feel special. He just is he's a special player. Trump had a special gift. But Trump was Trump. And at the end, he couldn't inspire enough people to keep it going. Yeah. You know, it's funny. If you want to be the president of the United States, you got to inspire half of the other fan base to vote for you. Do you understand that? You do. All right. Great things going on at the Olympic Games. Dak Prescott's banged up a little bit already. You just gave him $42 million per. We'll reset. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. I like Ronald Reagan. All right, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I gotta go. Goodbye. Goodbye. Can't believe you root for that guy. I think you're a double agent. Learning, not a little. Yeah. And you're sending me ready-handed gifts like from him, and never happened. No. Gorbachev was a worm. Any guy with a spot on his head, there was something wrong with that whole thing. I don't care. So neither can I. Look like guacamole. I don't care. I don't know. It never happened. I don't want anything to do with it. I would light him on fire. I don't want anything to do with it. Zero. No, it's not happening. You'll never get me in the same place with that guy. Not happening. Okay. You keep telling yourself that. Yeah, okay. Pull that guy's arms off in 10 seconds. Take a bazooka out. Just that'll end it all. And you have to worry about it. Yes. Be a lot of crying. I don't blame you for it. He tried. I should know. Got to blow his brains up. That's great. Oh no. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I'll tell you something right now, man. If I was the Big 12, I'd be one pissed off bunch of guys. How about those? Get this too. What about the kids that are at Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Arkansas? What about programs like that? What does it matter? Of course, it doesn't matter. There's no bearing. It doesn't matter to people with money and to television networks. It has no bearing on anything. You think the kids really ever mattered? Do you think the kids, and it matters when a coach promises a parent or two parents when they're recruiting you, hey, listen, I want this kid to come play for me here, and I'm going to be his dad away from home. All of a sudden, he gets a better opportunity, and that guy pulls the ripcord, and he's somewhere else because he's making more money. It's a bunch of salesmen. College sports is a bunch of used car salesmen. They just happen to be paid a lot. These are guys that are like the lowest links in the ocean, that you chain them together and you hope the anchor sinks them because they're so scummy. The people that have hid behind amateur sports all these years should really be ashamed of themselves. Mark Emmert makes $3 million a year. He's the president of the NCAA. He can't do anything to stop what's going on to the Big 12. By the way, I'm not some Pied Piper here protecting. I'm just showing you the story that I've been saying for 25 years on the air. These people don't give a rat's ass about the kids. It was about controlling the kids, not taking care of the kids. It wasn't looking out for the betterment of college sports. It was looking out for themselves. You know what it's closest thing to I can tell you? It's like a gimmick in a radio, it's like a gimmick in a wrestling. That's better. In a wrestling match. You know how they have the beginning and the end in a wrestling match? And they kind of have it scripted out? This is exactly what college sports is. But the issue is this. Wrestling fans, that's who you are because you believe that this is still amateur sports, or you did. I don't think the fan bases believe it any longer because you can't fool the American public over and over and over again. See, that's the problem with sports media and also with politics. Eventually, Americans are going to fight back, and sports fans are going to start fighting back too. I told you in the first hour here, you're now getting Republicans and Democrats doing this about the stupid mask mandates. I'm not doing that. You told me to get vaccinated, and you know what you're doing? You're pissing off the country. You know, America actually may be in a better place than you think, and I'm going to tell you why. You keep telling me to get vaccinated, and that 2 months ago that I don't have to wear them indoors or outside anymore because I'm fully vaccinated. And now today you're changing the game on me. You're going to piss everyone off, not just Republicans and Democrats. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to galvanize this country. I'm not listening to Anthony Fauci any longer. This guy changed the yardsticks on me every single gosh dang month. Same thing with the White House. You can pull YouTubes, at least up until tonight. I don't know, maybe they're yanking them because they'll have to yank a lot of them. Where those guys were telling us, fully vaccinated, thank you, America. Remember, he was thanking Americans. Remember about the number? All of a sudden, that went away. And how many Americans have got vaccinated in the first 100 days? Remember that campaign? Well, that's over, isn't it? Because now we moved on to something else here. You're getting Americans in this country that are doing this. No, I don't believe you anymore. I told you this as well. The people that cover us, media, and the people that represent us, politicians, they think that they represent us and they think they cover the stories we want to hear. How many times are they going to be fooled when elections come around? And you can't believe a guy like Trump, or you can't believe that 75 million people voted for the guy, and you're disappointed that the seats closed in the House of Representatives and that things are so tight now. People are disappointed. Why? Because the things you were saying weren't true. I think actually America right now, I think COVID-19, I think it may actually bond us. Don't you get to a point where you're just going, enough is enough? I'll control my own family's lives, not you. I vote you out. Eventually, Democrats, I'm not saying you're going to take the sides of Republicans, but eventually you're seeing the writing on the wall too. You can't keep doing that to people. You're going to lock people that are 60 years old and up in their homes again this fall? No way. Suicide rate in this country will explode. And you have nobody to blame but the government. And what happens when you blame the government? You create change. You know, this country's waiting for one leader that everybody will follow. He's out there. And it's not these 80-year-old dudes, too. Isn't that weird? You're telling me we can't get... Hey, watch this. You know the qualified guys that are probably really capable of running this country? They don't want the job. It's always the old farts. They don't want the job. I mean, we had two guys that were like in almost 80. I'm not saying experience doesn't matter, because it does. Look at the coaches in the NFL. All the great ones are older. But those guys are communicators, man. Think of this for a second, too. Coaches versus politicians. Coaches inside of a locker room. I think you'll dig this. You got Muslims, Baptists, Catholics, Jews, atheists. You've got Palestinians all in a locker room. Coach's got to get along with every one of them. How come he can do it and politicians can't? How come those coaches can't? Maybe that's why we revere sports figures more today than we ever have. How come those guys can get around all those men and all pull in the same direction, and you can't get anybody to agree with you on anything that's on the other side? My God almighty, thank God that a football team or a sports team is not run like our country, because it'd be divided locker rooms. And that coach would probably be fired. It's completely the truth. And circle back here to this. People have been lying to you about college sports. You know why it's a big deal? Okay, we're on in the great state of Texas. We're on in Dallas. That's a football state. Two biggest names, three big. Now I think three big names. You know who they are? A&M, Longhorns, and the Cowboys. When you're in the state of Texas, football matters. Guns and football and oil matter. Okay? Real estate. All of that. Trammel Crow. All that stuff, man, matters. Dairy. Cattle. It's a hard-working state. Now what you're doing is you're ripping it apart in a conference that really loved that area. And now you got fan bases like the Houston Cougars. Where do they go? Okay. What happens to TCU? What happens to SMU? What happens to those programs? Well, you think they're not just going to sit around there and just going to go, okay, it's all right, it's all good. That's not right. By the way, politicians, where are you? That state income taxes and that state revenue is being generated by state institutions. Where are you in this? Don't give a rat's ass. You got a company in ESPN that's maybe the most crippling company that I've ever seen next to Nike. They don't care about these kids. They care about television revenue. And know this, last year, ESPN lost $700 million because of COVID last year. Do you know what ends up driving down? The Disney stock has actually been up. But do you know what hurts the Disney stock the majority of the time? ESPN. It hurts it. They lost $700 million because of the COVID. That's why they're telling OU in Texas, get the hell out of that sorry-ass conference. You know that Texas Longhorn Network? Here's something else that's being thrown around. Don't worry, I know. You know, that's the only thing that ESPN losing their shirt on. So you know what they told them? This is true. They told them, we'll just roll you over into the SEC new TV deal. We'll absorb it. Don't worry about it. Texas went great because they were losing their shirts too on it. They were trying to get that, to use that, because Big 12 money wasn't generating enough revenue for them. Why do you think Texas A&M has gone by them in money? Because they're in the Southeastern Conference. This is all about cash. This has nothing to do with winning. Who cares if Texas wins now? Nobody cares if the Longhorns have an undefeated season any longer. You know what they care about? $150 million a year in revenue for their football program. That's just football. How about the hoop program? $200 million, $250 million generated to all 12 of these institutions in the SEC. That's all that matters. This is not about amateur sports. You think that's amateur sports when your company's making $200 million a year, $250 million, and you don't get taxed on it because it's a college football program. It's tax exempt in many areas. They get breaks. State institutions. That's why private institutions don't. They don't make the same money. That's all generated when it comes to donations. Why do you think USC can't help the Big 12 or the Pac-12 that much? Because they're a private school. They don't get state funds. UCLA does. They're the state institution. Cal, places like that. It's just a huge deal financially. And then, like I said, the NCAA just sits around going, well, here, let me take Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy away. When you got a conference being raided. That's some shady business. All right, Kim Bokamper, part of the Miami Dolphins broadcast team, will be at the bottom of the hour. I do want to hit on the sorry-ass Jets. They actually did something right today. I hammered them last night. I'll tell you what it is next. You're still not. You're still not. Oh. No, I'm not. Right. Okay. Don't tell me what the fuck I'm doing. Hey, told you about that guy. Never. Okay. Yes, it does, Junior. Something seriously. You got an illness. It's all right. You're such an illness to your brains. Mush anyway. Give me one. Dude, the problem with Candlestick was it was an old baseball stadium. And you know what the 49er guys used to always do? Keep them in the dirt. It's funny now that I think about it, Chris. I played in a lot of multi-baseball and like I played at the Vet. I played at, let's see, what else was never played at the Kingdom. I played at Mile High, but they didn't play baseball in there. A little bit. No. Let me think. Yeah, they did. Oh, I played in the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome. Twins played there. No, because when I played in the Canadian League, I didn't play there. Let's see. Atlanta, Fulton County. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Kim Bokamper, part of the broadcast team for the Miami Dolphins, will be with us here in a sec. I hammered on the Jets yesterday. Anytime you get sorry-ass ownership or managers or bosses, you always know it, right? They try to change the game. Think they know better. So the Jets ended up, like I was killing them last night because this kid, Zach Wilson, wasn't signed. He signed today because the Jets got too much heat for what they were trying to pull off. Woody Johnson and his guys are so cheap. They're such a sorry-ass franchise. There was a rule that the new collective bargaining agreement, if you're a first or second pick in an NFL draft, you're to get your signing bonus within 15 to 30 days. You know what the Jets tried to do? Tried to move the yardsticks on the kid. They wanted to pay 75% of his signing bonus and defer it to next year. Why is that? Because they've got so many outstanding contracts or so many bad deals that they're financially strapped because of COVID a year ago, that they were trying to nickel and dime the kid. How do you build a fan base? How do you build excitement when you're constantly nickel and diming people and doing stupid-ass things like that? Here's the Jets' history. Joe Namath. That's it. Joe Namath. There's no other history. Well, you know, they had the New York Stock Exchange. Great. And I love that team. But that's not really winning. I'm talking about championships. Sure, they've had great players, but what did you do with them? It's been like the island of misfit toys. When you play for the Jets, it's like the island of misfit toys. It really is, man. There's no way around it. 1969, great. Honestly, do you understand? People were drinking Tang then. Dave, right? Isn't that the drink of the astronauts? Yeah, sure. Whatever. Right? Ridiculous. We didn't have cell phones then. You have no, you know what? People actually had to put nickels and dimes in phones to make a call. Imagine that, right? Payphones. How ridiculous is that today? Payphones. Hey, buddy, can I use your phone for a second? Sure, I got unlimited talk. Go ahead. Here. Right? Payphones. Oy. I actually saw a mailbox the other day. It reminded me of the Jets. I was like, hey, there's a mailbox. That's like the Jets. Such a pathetic franchise. Still trying to change the game for the worse. They finally did the right thing. Kid signed, and it's just a bad look on how you operate. I'm not for throwing money away when it comes to signing guys and all that. I get that you have to be fiscally and financially responsible for your salary cap. But, dude, when there's something that's set and you signed off on it as an owner, Woody. Hey, by the way, just to keep score, Johnson & Johnson, I'll leave it at that. Remember this, Johnson & Johnson owns the Jets. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody. I'll leave it there. Hey, check out podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones and earbuds, 35% off of everything. Yes, I'm adding it in now. 35% off. You use the promo code Sileo. S as in Sam, ILEO. Shipping is free. $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. I do think the Dolphins are headed in the right place with Chris Greer and with the head coach, Brian Flores. We'll talk to Kim Bokamper. We'll do that next, right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Yeah. Got you, brother. you don't. Because you're an atheist. Oh, please enlighten me. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that's great. That's great. I know you. I know you and Janet are all over it. You know, as long as I hear you. It's great. Thank you, Chris. Chris, it means a lot, man. Yep. Wow. Dude, those are so old. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. And if you've been kind of like watching on our social media platforms, Chris and I have been kind of talking about some of the great stadiums that we'd like to run out on. And he mentioned the Cotton Bowl. I never have ever run out on that field. I'd love to have run out on that Cotton Bowl field. Now, I've been to the Rose Bowl, and I've been on the sidelines. Miami beat Nebraska for the national championship, I think in 2001. So I went to the game. They invited me. But, oh, my God, I always wanted to play in the Cotton Bowl because the Cotton Bowl is one of those traditional places that has held so many fabulous games, so many great athletes. By the way, I want to thank Kim Bocamper for coming aboard with us. I love those kind of conversations because, you know, what's happened in sports, you know, we're always trying to replace the old, tipping statues over, you know, trying to rewrite history. Those old stadiums, they're kind of like what's part of the fabric of our country. The Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, I mean, that's a signature stadium. In my opinion, I don't believe the people in Dallas will ever knock that thing down. That's the Texas State Fair, the cowboy out front, the Ferris wheel. That really is Dallas. Chris O just said that. That's Dallas. Absolutely, man, that Cotton Bowl is. Never going to knock that thing down. You're never going to see that. Watch this. That place, the Rose Bowl, you're never going to see the Rose Bowl knocked down in Pasadena. You're never really going to see the Yale Bowl taken out either. Those are all iconic stadiums that really were the formula in this country that really made the stadiums in this country what they are. You're never going to see those places blown up. You're just not. Especially that place. Think of this for a second. You have taken the actual Cotton Bowl out of the Cotton Bowl, and yet you keep that stadium around for the Red River rivalry. Oklahoma, Texas. It's a great game. I've been to one. That's a great football game. I've been to it's funny. I've gone to a couple of these games because I've covered them. And I covered the Georgia-Florida game. That's a pretty cool game too. But there's nothing like going into the Cotton Bowl and watching that game. That's a pretty cool game for those kids. And you get to bring that to the SEC. The SEC gets that game. How many of those games are left? Let's think about it. You think USC, UCLA matters? I don't. UCLA's never been relevant. It only matters in LA. USC, Notre Dame? Kind of. Yeah, okay. Two iconic programs? Sure. Texas, Oklahoma? Absolutely. Auburn, Alabama? Absolutely. Ohio State, Michigan? It still matters, even though Michigan's getting their faces kicked in. That'll always matter. Okay? It'll always matter, though. Chris is a Michigan guy, and obviously he's waiting for a victory against those guys, as he would say, south of Michigan. As Woody would say, those guys up north. Chris would say those guys down south. Okay? All right. Well, look, I love Jim Harbaugh. Washington State. Those games, they're all great, man. God, college football, I pray to God that they don't wreck it. These networks have really just networks too. Fox and ESPN. Dude, man. Don't destroy what's really something that our community you're so proud, and so much pride goes into, these college football programs. Texas and University of Texas in Dallas and in the state of Texas and in Austin, man, I'll tell you what, how about this? You put a ticket on the table for a Texas game or a Cowboy game. I'll tell you what, man, I think you can flip a coin. You can get fans going. I'll take them Longhorn tickets. Or I'll take them A&M tickets. You know what I mean? All right. So much going on. Olympics, NFL. We'll reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Let me say this to you, though. You could put a I don't know, a tractor pull at the Cotton Bowl, and you'll put 80,000 in there. They love that stadium. They love that stadium. All right, man. I'll talk to you later, brother. Let me look, and I'll send it tonight. Thank you, brother. Talk to you later. Why did I even go up there? Hold on for a minute.